Cigar Club family, what is going on? Welcome to a highly anticipated Cigar Club podcast. We're here in Santiago, Dominican Republic at Tabacalera, La Isla. And look who joined us, Mr.
We're here. Finally
David
get brought
Pugh.
along. I mean, come on now. And we get to do a live podcast. And we haven't done this since March.
No, the Palette Prince is here. And we're at the blending table at La Isla. You can see all of this tobacco that's out here.
Yeah.
We've been blending literally all morning. We've locked off like 3 or 4 customs blends for next year. Pugh did his first blend, which he's going to talk a lot about today. And currently, we are doing something that I'm really excited for. It is the cigar blended by you guys. We put out an Instagram post yesterday, and I said, if you could blend a cigar, what would you put in it? And we got a bunch of great answers. We had one person in particular give us a full cigar. And that person is Jason Pohl. So, Jason, if you're listening, we're going to make your cigar. And better yet, we're going to have a couple extra made here on the table, and we're going to bring them home, and we're going to send them to you. We have almost every tobacco you put in here. We're going to make one tweak that I think you'll be excited about. And, of course, a lot of you sent in tobaccos as well that you want to see. Yep. We've got all of them on the table here, and we're going to talk through those as well. This is going to be the coolest Cigar Club podcast episode that's ever happened. And Hostos has joined us.
I've been running around the table here getting organized. I apologize.
The man that needs no introduction here anymore at Cigar Club because everybody knows you now.
Not everybody, but I hope a lot of people that do think I'm a good guy at least. You know?
So let's kick things off real quick with, I'm just going to pull up the blend that was sent in.
Okay.
This is from Stogie Ventures, Jason Pohl. He's asking for a Mexican San Andres wrapper.
Got you.
Which you've got here.
Yeah.
For his binder, he put Cameroon. We don't have Cameroon here.
Well, we have something more special in Cameroon.
Agreed.
For filler tobaccos, he's requesting Criollo 98 and Corojo 99.
We got it.
Which we've got.
Yes.
And we're going to put it in there. And
that's going to be good.
I
think that's going to be really good.
Introduce the man at the end of the table here making the magic.
This is my friend Elvin here. He's always been with me working here since I started the factory. We've known each other for at least 6 to 7 years. When I was working at another company, we used to work together there. And when I started La Isla, I was lucky enough that he was available and willing and able to come work with me here at the factory. I told him what I was planning on doing, the vision that I had for the company, and he was more than on board to make it happen for me. He's been tremendously helpful for us here at La Isla. La Isla is not just mine, it's his and all the other people here in the factory, and they treat it that way as well because we truly are a close-knit family here at La Isla. And we're making cigars just for all of us to grow together here at La Isla at the same time. And Elvis says he's here with me on a Sunday if we need to be here on a Sunday. He's with me on a Saturday. Anytime, any moment of the day, he's available to work with me for whatever we need.
I love it. You can feel that atmosphere here. I can feel Pugh freaking out.
As you can notice, the man is very concentrated as he always is.
Yep.
Always is.
2022 is going to be the year we do customs all at one factory, and we're doing it here at La Isla. And that's a lot of reasons beyond just the fact that you have access to a lot of tobacco. That's probably like the last reason, which is a great reason. We love working with Hostos, what you're building here. But
thank you,
in addition to that, you also have amazing tobacco. And we can make 6 cigars in a year that all have totally different characteristics.
Different profiles.
Yeah. Different profiles using sizes, shade, primings. And that's why we've been at this table literally all day.
Yeah, and even the beauty when you do blends, some people think that to make, how many blends did we make for your arrival here? 8, 9 different blends. A lot of people think you're supposed to have hundreds or a lot of different types of tobaccos. That helps to look at other options, but at the same time, it's all about the way you blend specific tobaccos with each other.
Right.
The type of leaves, the type of thickness, the way you do the proportions of the tobacco. That varies. You guys noticed that when we were smoking the puritos, just changing the binder on the same tobacco was a completely different cigar. I remember Pugh was shocked when I told him it's the same thing, just a different binder. When you lit it up, you were like, wow, this is a completely different cigar. So even that, doing different things is not about having hundreds of different items in stock. It's about the way you go into the blending process.
Right.
The approach.
And approach the cigars.
No, absolutely. And so for this cigar that Elvin is working on right now, thank you, Jason, for the rec.
Good man.
What primings are you going for with? Because he said for filler, Criollo 98, Corojo 99. That's broad, right? Because we have DR Criollo and Corojo.
And
then we've got Seco, Viso, Ligero.
Exactly.
What are we thinking?
The way that we're thinking is how we approach the blends. You just give me the type of seed, and we figure out what we're looking for. Do we want to make a strong cigar, a medium? And that's where you start playing with the different variations of leaf, the secos or visos or ligeros. But don't get it confused, because a lot of people think, oh, you want to make a strong cigar, just put all ligeros in there. No, you can make a very strong cigar with more secos than ligeros in the blend. It all depends how you're blending the tobaccos.
Right.
So when you give me this, I'm trying to make a cigar that's not going to be too overpowering, because at the same time,
you could power that sucker up.
yeah, because these type of tobaccos that, what's his name again?
Jason
that requested. These are tobaccos. I imagine Jason likes stronger cigars.
Yeah, he does.
There you go, because of what he's requesting. But at the same time, we need to think about what the consumer's looking for.
Right.
Because I can love a super strong cigar, but the market sometimes is a little bit scared of that, because there's all new smokers coming in, a lot of casual smokers, and super strong cigars, they're scared of them because they're too intense and they want to enjoy it more than have that strength always.
Certainly. Now, when you're sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
When you're looking at a list like that where you're not having primings, how are you thinking about construction and combustion when seeing that list? Are you trying to go make sure there's ligero and seco, or to make sure that it's burning properly throughout?
Regarding your question of construction and combustion, it doesn't matter what we're making. That needs to be on point. Doesn't matter if it's a mild, strong, medium, secos, visos, ligero, it doesn't matter. Every single cigar needs to be constructed the best way possible. Even to go to your point, when we make cigars here, I don't tell the cigar makers, oh, this is Dave, or this is so-and-so, or this is that. Every single cigar, doesn't matter if it's free or $100, it needs to be the same type of quality.
Yeah. Certainly.
So to answer your question more direct, I look at this, I don't even think about construction, because it needs to be on point, doesn't matter what it is.
That's first.
So that's first, because we were talking about this. Half of the battle is having a good constructed cigar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that looks good to the eye, burns well, doesn't give you any problems, because it doesn't matter if I give what you think is the best blend in the world. If it's burning like shit, can we do?
Yeah, you're good.
Let him out.
That's where it works.
I apologize, but I need to ask. I can give you the best blend that you think is the best thing of your life. If it's burning like shit, you're not going to enjoy
There's nothing more
cigar.
than frustrating than fighting a cigar the entire time.
Exactly, because you're not supposed to be fighting with it. You're supposed to be enjoying it at the same time. But this is what I was telling you about, all the little nuances that go into making cigars that work towards that. The way we sort the tobaccos, the way we put the positioning of the leaves when the cigar makers make the cigars. All those things go into that, into the construction, the consistency, the quality, the burn. Because even you can have the best tobaccos in the world, the best processed tobaccos you can find. If you're not positioning them correctly in the cigar, they're not gonna burn right.
Right.
So for construction, we don't even think about what it is. Construction needs to be on point, doesn't matter what type of tobaccos we're using. But to go back to your point about the primings, this is where we start thinking. There's two ways that we do it, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
One is the customer might tell me, I want a super strong cigar, I want a super mild cigar, super medium. Then from that comment, I go forward with a blend. In this case, where we're kind of like going into it blind, I'd rather do a medium plus cigar that's going to be good for people who might smoke milder or might smoke stronger.
Yeah, right down the line.
We always try to find what is going to work the most, the
sweet spot.
The sweet spot for the consumers. Because at the end of the day, I can make it how I like it, but I'm not going to buy all the cigars myself, you know?
Totally. It's also interesting I feel like a lot of people start to lend themselves towards Mexican San Andres wrappers.
Super
when
popular.
we pull people here, we've got bourbon sipping. Chris said San Andres. We had two more people for San Andres. Somebody asked for Oscuro, a Brazilian Matafina, Cigar Bond. Shout out to you, buddy. Peru. Have you ever worked with Peruvian tobacco?
I have worked with Peruvian tobacco before. Peruvian tobacco is used by a lot of people, but for the type of blends and style that we use, we don't like it that much, because Peruvian tobacco is one of those that you need to blend it very well to hide a couple of things it has that we don't believe are good enough for what we want to do.
Sure, gotcha.
Got it.
So it's one of those tobaccos where we don't avoid it, but we just don't even think about it because it's not in the way we want to do blends of cigars. Doesn't mean that I'm knocking Peruvian tobacco. You can try a lot of cigars that have that are great cigars.
For sure.
It's just, I've always told you guys this, that you guys always ask me, can we take pictures? Can we record? Can we do this? Can we do that? And I said, no problem, because I have no secrets here, you know? So when we're doing these type of things, I always say we have our own style of doing cigars.
Absolutely.
Every single factory is making cigars. There's nobody doing a special magical process to cigars. Everybody has their own style of doing cigars.
Yeah.
So you've been to enough cigar factories where you see it's cigar makers making cigars. They're sorting leaves, they're processing. Everybody has different styles of working it. And that's what comes into the blend styles of different factories. So when we do that, we're looking for cigars that we want to do in our style coming out of the Isla. And Peruvian is one we don't work with.
Right.
Doesn't mean that one day I can find some Peruvian that I like and we do a blend that works. We're always open to any type of opportunity.
You're not against trying it. No. And if it fits, or if you think of something that it could work with, you're going to pursue it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, guys, remember, right now, I don't know in the future, we're not making our own brands. So if a customer really likes Peruvian tobacco, we'll figure out a blend for them to make it work. At the end of the day, I've always told you and you guys, I'm open to anything.
That's why we love you.
Because at the end of the day, man, you just got to try stuff. Yeah. And for me, this is fun. We're literally just trying cigars and tobacco.
Yeah, this is the best day you can. It's like every time it feels like another bucket list, even though it's the same line item. It's like, oh, I did it again.
I've crossed off so many in a day and a half. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's been interesting for me with you here because it's your first time visiting a factory, you know?
Yep.
It's always fun. I was telling you when we were having lunch, you kind of do appreciate cigars a little bit more, I imagine now, because you see all the little things and all the processes that go into it.
And even just what it takes to get to starting a cigar, all the work and the time and the knowledge that it goes into just be able to get to the point of saying, this, I think will go well. And then from there, able to tweak it before it even gets to a roller.
Yeah, I feel like we're at the beginning of a process, but we're actually like closer to the end than the beginning at this table.
Yeah.
Right? Because the tobacco we've been getting here, it being sorted, aged correctly, graded.
There's so much work that we have
and we're like, this is our beginning, but it couldn't be further from the beginning.
Yeah, and I go back to the Purito box that we're doing.
Yes.
It really is the same process that we're doing here.
Here's your $20 for.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks for plugging that. You can get it at cigarclub.com/Purito box.
There we go. But it really is that same experience. You can talk about it because it's the first time you're doing this experience at a factory.
Yeah.
We're literally doing the same thing with the Purito box kitchen. You try the different tobaccos pure, and you get ideas. You think about it more. And when you try the first part, you're like, oh, now I understand.
You can see it all come together.
Yes.
And how they play with each other as well.
Yeah.
What's Elvin cooking up over there?
Yeah, I was gonna.
He's waiting for us.
I was gonna let you guys keep talking about a couple of things.
Oh, go
absolutely. Give him the secret recipe
to get our boys blend here on the move.
Sounds good, Jason. Your cigar is currently in the works, and hey,
in process.
If you guys want to see your own cigar like this, respond to the Instagram story.
You gotta let us know.
You gotta take advantage of it. Pugh, day 2. I don't even know. I can't even ask you a question with a straight face because I don't even know if you could come to an answer.
More than likely not.
What's going on in your head?
I've been speechless multiple times. You keep throwing me on IG or the vlog, and I don't have the words to describe. I've been grinning ear to ear. I can't stop smiling, and just an incredible experience. I've said it before multiple times just now. Bucket list item, right? Yeah. You start smoking cigars, you grow to appreciate the cigars, and then you want to know more. I think you had it with coffee. I had it with bourbon, and now I have it with cigars. It adds to the experience every time you smoke a cigar because now I realize, I knew there was a lot of, what is it, 1,000 hands going to make a cigar, whatever it is. A lot of people are involved. But then now sitting down, seeing the factory, seeing little minute things of, we put this here, we have this here for specific reasons that end up being a better final product, right?
Sure.
Things that I never thought about. Wouldn't have even thought to ask a question about it. Seeing it just adds to the experience. And every time I think I smoke a cigar, not just from La Isla, but any cigar, I will certainly reflect on the process and the time that it took to get to me to light up and enjoy.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things that has happened so far on this trip is we arrived, we had sent Hostos a list with an email of different blends that we wanted, tobaccos we wanted to use, profiles we were going for to get to a starting place before we sit down here, especially with a list of 6 cigars that we need to get done. That's a lot for a trip. And we showed up, Pugh started smoking his, rightfully so. And
first one I grabbed.
We were already like pretty happy with him.
Yeah.
And then today it was like, well, there's like one thing that I can't quite put my finger on, you were saying.
Yeah.
And look at the table. There's 20 Puritos down here.
We found out.
And that's how you found the one thing. So that's what I want you to like talk on a little bit because you didn't reconstruct the whole blend. You didn't change the wrapper. It's like it was one tobacco.
Yeah. I mean, sat down today. I smoked the 2 that we were, came into with. I knew right away which one I leaned towards or I was leaning towards. And within that, especially as I went home last night, I was like, all right, that wasn't what I had in my head originally. How do I get it to that direction? And then we sat down today with all the Puritos of it, and I was able to taste each Purito that was in that number 2, we'll call it.
Yep.
And then found out which was what maybe was causing me to pull in a certain direction or where I wanted to pull it back. We smoked through more Puritos, found one that I really loved. We swapped those 2 out.
No, we know you did.
I did, yeah,
you
exactly.
did.
Yeah,
let's
I did.
Be real here. He did.
And then once we hit it, we swapped it. We had Elvin roll it up together, and immediately, 2 puffs into it.
I think it was 2. You said, this is it.
I said,
done.
This is it.
And you put it down. I'm like, keep smoking. And you're like, but I know it's it.
And then it continually got better, so I'm glad I continued to smoke it.
Yeah.
And then I had the validation of everyone else at the table to be like, yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
And that was a moment. That was a really special. I had goosebumps.
Good man.
Elvin, yourself, Dave, to an extent. You don't have the experience, so that's why I put you. But just that it wasn't just me, right? Obviously, we're blending a cigar I was blending a cigar that I wanted to enjoy, but knowing that everyone else was going to enjoy it as well was a really, really special moment. And to be able to get there, right? It wasn't just something that, here, smoke this, and I was like, this is it. I was able to put my thoughts to it.
Yes.
And then find out, kind of, troubleshoot the problem, right? There was something I wanted to tweak, and I was able to get to there, find out what it was, swap it out with something I liked a little bit better or had that profile that I liked, and it came together beautifully. And I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, that's the beauty of doing this, man, because you being able to get to that, for me, your trip is already a success.
Absolutely.
Because what we did was you smoked that blend you liked, and then I said, Pugh, let me give you a couple of those pure tobaccos and try them. You trying those tobaccos, you said, this one new that we tried pure, I like it better than the one in the cigar. Why don't we just swap it out and see what happens?
Yep.
And look what happened.
And you gave me the reins to make potentially that mistake, right? You didn't just take me there. You let me, I guided my own journey. Yeah, it took a little bit, but we got there. That's the journey that it took.
Yeah, man, that's the process. At the end of the day, I don't want to tell you what to do because I've always told you, you're your own expert at what you like also and what you think is good or better. So I like to leave it open on the table because I like to see what you're thinking about, because you doing this for the first time is also good for me because I'm looking at it from an outside perspective of somebody that's not used to doing this all day, and I can hear your comments. I'm like, oh, interesting. He said this and I hadn't even thought about that or whatever. So this is the beauty of doing this type of thing, that you can think for yourself and kind of understand what the blend is doing, what's happening with the blend itself. And you came up with the idea that we all liked. And that is great, man. I got to give you props. And even Elvin said, he asked me, like, is this his first time at a factory? Has he smoked all cigars before? Because he even said, coño, this is a good cigar. You know?
He rolled one up, lit it, and smiled. And I was like...
And he doesn't, smile that much.
That was
it. He's not he doesn't smile 24/7.
I wanted to... My goal was to crack a smile out of Elvin today. And I figured I'd do it with a terrible joke or really bad Spanish. And it was with my cigar.
Or with
so
a really good cigar.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is like the pinnacle of customs, I think.
Yeah.
And looking into 2022 is they're literally being blended here. It's not hey, Hostos, what do you got in the back?
It's
that
not
you just want to send me and say, hey, Dave, you'll like this one. Here's A and B. And you've always let us sit down at this table before we put an order in for one cigar. We sat at these tables, we smoked Puritos, we blended cigars, and now we get to bring this as people who are new to the industry and share it with other people. Like, hey, look, with the right people on your team, you and Elvin and this whole factory, you can make stuff that you're proud of and that you think tastes really good. And that is special.
No, man, literally what you just said is one of the main reasons why I decided to do this. Because this is, for me, is my favorite part of the process, because it's not a phone call blend. Yo, do this, send it to me, and we'll pick it. Every time you tell me you're coming down, I'm like, great, get your ass over here as quick as possible. Because we can sit down, we can smoke. This is what I enjoy about making cigars.
It's a playground.
We can sit down, we're friends, we talk about tobacco, we talk about life, the universe, whatever it is. And we might be talking about pizza, and all of a sudden we get a cigar come out of the bottom. Oh, try this. Okay, forget the pizza. Let's smoke cigars now. You know?
But isn't that what's beautiful about cigars? Right?
Man.
I mean, it's such a factor that can bring people together, and it quickly doesn't come about the cigars anymore. And then it comes back to it, right? It's just such a welcoming and friendly environment.
I always tell people that the way I like to work is the simplest and easiest way possible. We're not making socks here. We're making cigars, man. This is a lot of fun, and you're trying things. And I love it when things don't work, because then you're like, okay, now I know this doesn't work.
You learn why it doesn't work.
It's not about trying to always find the perfect thing. It's about finding the imperfect things too, that you can kind of pivot around and figure out how to make it even
You can
better.
learn from those imperfections and
that's
mistakes.
The whole process of blending, man. Nobody can sit down, do a blend, and have it be done and ready to go. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you got to tweak things, but that's the interesting part of doing cigars.
Certainly.
Because you're just trying different things that you haven't tried before. You're like, oh, this is giving me something that I wasn't even getting from the full blend.
Yeah.
But when you smoke it by itself, you're like, oh, now I get where I get a little bit of that spiciness from the blend. It comes from this tobacco.
And if you didn't have fun doing it, why do it?
Why do it?
It's kind of cool to think like we're hanging out.
We literally are hanging
just
out.
Smoking cigars, right? Whether they're puros or full blends or whatever. We're just sitting around smoking cigars, talking about what we like and don't like, and everything beyond cigars. And that is exactly how everybody enjoys the final product as well. Of course. They sit around, they smoke cigars, they talk about what they like and don't like about the cigar they're smoking, and they talk about everything else under the sun.
Yeah.
That's the same process that happens at this table before the cigars even go out.
Yeah, every time you guys post anything, be it a cigar from here or not, what I love most is reading the comments, because I want to see what people think about it. You know?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't have to be perfect always, man, because I always tell you guys, taste is subjective. Your favorite cigar might be the cigar I hate the most. Everybody has their own.
And there's no right or wrong,
there's
right?
no right or wrong, man. There's no right or wrong. So when we're doing these type of things, I like to see what the customers are saying, because it's different mindsets, different. Some of them might be smoking a cigar at -20 in Minnesota, or they can be smoking a cigar at the beach where it's hot. So it's a different experience.
For sure.
You can be by yourself. You can be happy. You can be sad. You can be with friends having a good time. So I always like to see what cigars that people smoke give them. Are they enjoying it? Is it making them feel better? Are they having a better time with their friends? All these little, it's not about just saying, oh, this cigar tastes like this, or I get this type of fruit or whatever it is.
Those aren't the conversations that usually happen around a cigar.
Sometimes people don't even mention that. They're saying this cigar is giving me a great time. I'm at peace smoking it. I remember a lot of people, I ask people like, what's your favorite cigar? A lot of people tell me, not a specific favorite cigar, but a specific moment they smoked.
Absolutely. I think Dave and I have talked about before, just how much an experience can shape your favorite cigar.
Yeah.
One of the cigars I remember the most was the first cigar I smoked after I had my girl.
Oh.
After we had the baby, we had her early in the morning. By 2 in the afternoon, I was like, I need a break. I literally went to a shop, got cigars, got some good coffee, watched some sports, and smoked a cigar, because I was finally like, everybody's good, the baby's fine.
Everyone's safe, happy, and healthy.
Here, everybody's fine. Let me just relax for a second. I remember being one of the most peaceful smokes, because I was sitting in this big ass leather chair.
Super tired too.
Yeah, super tired, drinking. I actually told my wife I had to do something else.
I was gonna say, how'd you get away with?
I told her I had to go to the pharmacy to pick up a few items. The pharmacy trip took me 2 hours.
Oh, I see.
I said it was far.
Yeah,
it was a little bit far.
traffic. You had to go to the other store because they didn't have what you wanted.
But I always remember that, because it was such a stressful situation. It was so much like emotions and things happening. It's crazy, man. So when I went and smoked that cigar, I was like, wow, it was a very good cigar for me. And it wasn't a cigar I made, because when I had my baby, the Isla still wasn't born.
Yep.
So it was somebody else's cigar. And I always remember that moment. I believe it's more about the moments that trying to say, oh, this tastes like butter, or this tastes like this. That's more technical, which is fine, because sometimes you're looking for that. But I'm more about experiences at the same time.
I couldn't agree more.
There's cigars
He dropped a good one there in the.
Oh, get ahead. This is the cigar that
Jason.
I thought it was Jason. I'm sorry, Jason. Jason Voorhees. I won't forget now.
Yeah.
This is Mexican San Andres.
Okay.
Yamasa wrapper. Binder, sorry. Mexican San Andres wrapper, Yamasa binder. And then we put the Corojo and the Criollo requested, and I added something else to it. Because, just so you know, Corojo and Criollo by themselves, they fight a lot. So we added a third little option to make them be more happy and hug and love each other a little bit better.
The middle child.
So this is made freehand.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a moment?
Yeah.
Look at how perfect that is.
When we're doing puritos and testing tobaccos, we don't need them to be beautiful. We don't need it to put them in a mold for an hour. We're tasting tobaccos pure. So when you're doing blends, obviously this cigar, as you can see, still is a cigar that looks good enough.
I think Pugh can get a tight shot.
Yeah, I was about to say, can we get a tight shot on that?
So it's like
And it looks beautiful in my opinion still. Huh?
The funniest part of today was when I just grabbed it without looking and I lit the wrong end. And Elvin was about to jump across the table and tackle me. But it's like, you can't even,
you can't even notice it.
You can't really tell. It looks the same.
It looks the same.
You could have told me this came out of a mold, and I wouldn't have, I would have assumed it would have been right.
My man Elvin has the magic hands.
Magic.
No kidding. How long has he been?
30 years. He's been doing cigars. He's 43, and he's been in the business for 30 years.
Ooh. This has the makings.
I trust the man. I trust the man.
Cold draw Pugh.
Got a cold draw.
You got a cold draw.
It's amazing how differently a cold draw can be than when you get that first light up.
Do
you always cold draw?
Yeah, I always do it. Yeah. I always do it.
Should we got? Let's go to the big boy. Quad.
I just love the that we're doing this with cameras on.
Oh, of course.
Because it's like, this is literally what we do.
Dude,
we're sitting here talking. Elvin drops I've been calling him Elvis, by the way, for the past
but his name
year
is
and
Elvin.
a half. Elvin.
We got it right now.
This is what we do. He sits over there, cooks up something nice, puts it down. It's like, oh, quick pause in the story. Cigar's been dropped on the table. Carry on.
Yeah, dude, when we were still moving things around and you said, let's start, I said, great. This is what we're doing for real. I don't want to set up a table with perfect positioning of all the leaves.
No.
Everything looks like perfect.
It's too fake at that point. Yeah.
That's not how we work, man.
Yeah.
This is literally how we work and how everybody works. It's tobacco. You're not supposed to be making it look nice on the table. You're supposed to make it taste good.
There's going to be ash. There's going to be loose tobacco flying everywhere.
Right.
I'm over here trying to make sure I'm tidy. Hostos is looking at me like, no, relax, calm down.
Every time somebody's here and they ash on the floor, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Looking for a brush pan to clean it up.
It's a cigar factory. It will be cleaned and it doesn't matter. It's like people get in my car, can we smoke? I'm like, fuck yeah, you can smoke. This car is here because of tobacco. You can smoke wherever you want.
Ooh.
A lot of people come here. Do you smoke everywhere in the factory? Yeah. Obviously we do. If you want to take one to the bathroom and sit on the throne, then take it and sit on the throne and smoke a cigar.
Speaking of bucket lists, that might be one.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Look at that one crossed off
That
here.
would be
And
classic.
another part of it is, when you walk into this factory, I want you to smell tobacco and see smoke if you can.
Yeah.
Because this is a cigar factory, you know?
And it's not every factory you walk in and see roller smoking cigars either, but a lot of your guys are
my
always
guys-
there with the cigar on the table.
And-
in between rolls, take a couple puffs.
And you know what? A lot of times they're like, this is a good blend. I'm like, there we go. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
All right, talk to us.
When you
thoughts.
smoke this, I want to see if one of us can guess what that middle child was.
Have we tasted the other tobacco you added?
Oh, gosh. Oh, we're done for.
Well,
it's like doing a blind tasting of a whiskey you've never had before and trying to guess what that whiskey is.
May I say what it is?
We'll taste it. We'll taste it. We're not going to get it, but just for the fun of it.
Maybe, okay.
Just for the fun of it.
I'll let you do your thing.
Is he dropping? Is he doing a couple of these?
He's doing another one for you.
Okay, cool. But right off the bat.
Yes. Yeah. Talk to us, Pugh.
This is great.
Good.
I mean, the fact that this is a hand-rolled cigar right here in front of me.
Yeah.
This has
no mold.
No mold.
2 minutes ago, that didn't exist.
Ago.
2 minutes ago, that was
Yeah. This has a better draw than 90% of the cigars that I've smoked.
That's what I've been wondering all day. If you look at all
How?
our samples, they've kind of fallen, but all the burn lines were like perfect.
No, nothing is
white
plugged.
ash. Nothing's plugged. Nothing's too open,
blows
so
my
it
mind.
goes out.
And they're wet. Besides doing them with no molds, they're a little bit wet.
Yeah.
You know? And look how that ash looks. Look how it's burning. No mold.
Gorgeous ash.
100%.
Little tooth. I mean, actually, a lot of tooth to it, and that's.
Oh, here we go.
So is the tooth because of the oil content in the Mexican San Andreas wrapper?
Yeah, and the way they process it as well.
Okay.
The way they process it gives it that toothiness and that peculiar taste or smell you get from
Gotcha.
Mexican
Because I know
San
some
Andres.
people, especially when they're first starting out, and I know I was guilty of it as well. I'd see a toothy ash, and I was like, "Is that normal? Is that bad? Is it an imperfection?"
It's normal. Because people understand that this is a natural product.
Yeah.
Each type of leaf or seed has their own characteristic or profile to it, you know? Mexican San Andres is a toothy wrapper. It's very popular. People like it very much, and it's easy to work with, too. It's one of the good things about Mexican San Andres. Yeah, amigo.
Talk to me. What are we?
Que le pegue más fuego.
Relight.
Ame uno.
Yeah, get into that quad flame. Don't take an eyebrow, though.
You know, I like this tastes really different than everything else we've been working on today.
That was my first. Like we've smoked a lot of.
It's like actually really refreshing.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for mine.
This is like,
dignitaries go first, huh? Oh, wait, I gotta wait.
How do I put this without sounding annoying?
Okay. Without sounding annoyed.
Like annoying, like
not
dumb tasting
annoying.
notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this like really awesome cocoa-y chocolate thing, but it's not super sweet.
No.
But I can just taste this like mushroom earthiness, which I'm thinking is from the Yamasa.
From the Yamasa?
With the chocolate is like this chocolatey, earthy, mushroomy.
Even the Yamasa goes with the Mexican
delicious.
San Andres. It gives you that.
Yeah, I was going to say, and there's a hello.
Oh, we're in the factory.
There we go.
There's going to be noises everywhere.
Day's over. There's also this like,
I mean, come on.
dark fruit, like berry compote.
Ooh, berry compote.
Hey, there we go. Berry compote.
There's one.
I like that.
There's one. Hey, you can't.
I'm getting
the Palate Prince is
Hungarian
trying to get his
paprika.
title back after the last episode.
But you know what the beauty is right now? I spoke about the experience before. We're doing the experience right now. We're here. We're in
It's
the
got
middle
a great
of the factory.
mouthfeel. Look at the ashes already freaking white as can be.
I know. I haven't retroed. Have you
This is
retroed it?
really good. Not yet.
I'm scared to retro it.
But the first couple of puffs, it's not very strong.
No, not at all.
There's a lot.
I mean, I would say this is sitting medium right off the bat.
I really
not-
like this.
I know it's really good. Uh-oh. All right, Jason's taking over. We're getting kicked out.
Jason, you've inspired some greatness at the table. Hostos took your idea and he's turning it into magic here.
I know.
Well, us are
I
turning
mean-
it into
I mean-
magic, including Jason.
Yes.
Because
I'm gonna tell
Jason
you.
right now is literally part of this process.
Absolutely.
He gave us the tobaccos, and sadly he's not smoking them with us right now, but Dave will
will.
figure out a way to get
Yep.
him. Huh?
Oh, yeah, we'll get him. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never going to be able to tell you what the extra...
The extra sprinkle on there?
Yeah.
Interesting. We haven't smoked the purito.
I'm going to
to
say, if I had to guess, some jalapa.
some
If
jalapa.
I had to guess, I would say
Mainly because I know
broadleaf,
it.
Connecticut broadleaf. Seriously?
Yeah.
Out of the table.
You got
I
it.
was thinking the sweetness that I was getting, that dark berry, was potentially jalapa.
And the mineral. It's kind of punchy,
But that's why we put
but
it.
not too strong.
That's why we put it in there, because the broadleaf gives you that punchiness, as you say, which is kind of like strength, but it's super sweet.
Yeah.
So that sweetness helps to play with the corojo and the criollo in there. Because the corojo and the criollo, if you would have just put that in the cigar, it would have been too linear.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I got a little cigar
under the
that
table.
popped out of nowhere.
There
I
it
love
is.
I love it.
You got
I mean,
it.
the strength is picking up, but
Look
it's
at-
like,
look at
I know.
look at the master
I know.
blender here.
He
I
just-
just
Taking,
know, God,
taking-
no.
taking-
I was
Couldn't have
process
let
of
us-
elimination.
Well, look, can we go back and edit where I say neither of us will get it and either change Dave's answer?
I had to bring.
Or take that
I had
out.
to bring Pugh back down to earth here. You know,
know.
he's on a high.
I was riding
he
high from
nailed a
earlier.
blend today.
Yeah,
He's got
thanks.
to remember. But it tasted a little too chocolatey sweet for the San Andres, because I always find that to be a little more dark, bitter chocolate.
Yeah, certainly.
That I'm like, there's something else that's giving it like a cocoa-y, punchier chocolate.
And that's where I went
And that's
with-
where I went broadleaf.
Yeah,
That's
I went
the
with
only
the
reason.
jalapa because of the sweetness that I was getting,
Because
thinking that's what it was.
you and me smoked broadleaf before.
Yep.
Not on this trip, because we did the Pennsylvania for
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
The broadleaf gives you that sweetness.
So you had
that
a
I
leg
wanted to
up
put
is what
into
I
the
hear.
cigar.
I mean, this sucker stays with you on your palate, on your tongue.
Oh, I haven't retroed it. Let's see how that goes.
What do you think, Hostos? Diving into it, first couple puffs.
First couple of puffs, I'm agreeing with you guys in the sense of, one, we just got tobaccos from Jason, and look, I just added something else to help it a little bit. And right off the bat, like as you say, no mold, free hand, as we call it, and you get a cigar that's giving you a lot of intensity and flavors.
Yeah.
A lot of people say intensity, right away they think, oh, intensity means strength. Sometimes intensity and flavors means very flavorful. You're getting a lot of things in your mouth and in your retrohale through the nose that gives you different flavors, and it hits you different parts of the tongue, and that's intensity of flavors.
If you would have handed this cigar to me and say retro it, I'd be like, oh, this is going to kill me. No, like that retro is super mild. And I was expecting to get either pepper or just strength on the retro. No.
Gives you a little bit at the end, but you were expecting it to hit you hard.
Yeah.
If it would have just been criollo and corojo, it would have hit you a lot more harder, and it would have been super spicy. So that's why I added that little broadleaf there to simmer that
Crazy.
down a little bit and kind of get a better feel in the mouth. Because if it's too intense, then people are gonna be like, oh, it's too much. Or maybe after half of the cigar, they're gonna
They'll
be
be-
tired
yeah.
of it, you know? The idea is you want people to smoke through the whole thing and enjoy the experience. And of course, when you're getting to the end of a cigar, it gets hotter, gets more intense.
Heats up the tobacco differently.
So when the cigar is super strong, it might be too much for people, you know?
Honestly, a really cool factory experience box would just be like free-rolled cigars, like no molds.
Wow.
No molds.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Well, actually, the puritos.
I mean,
molds.
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Puritos are freehand. They're a little bit nicer, of course,
Yeah.
because we're putting it in the box.
For sure.
Because we give them a little bit of a shape, but there's no molds. I don't have molds to do that small of a
That's all
size for a
hand.
burrito.
There's definitely strength in this thing, by the way.
It gets stronger
It's
as you
creeping
keep
up on me.
smoking. Yep.
I
You
have
got to
it.
be
All right.
careful with that.
Oh, I'll start sweating,
I don't
turning
want
red.
you to get
Hosta-
redder.
Yeah, we were losing Pugh for a little bit.
Oh, we
Yeah.
did.
The old
Right
fire
before,
hydrant.
right before lunch, I stood up after all of these burritos, and we were a little dizzy on that stand-up.
Yeah, but hey, you're back now.
All right, we're back.
You needed some rice,
Oh,
chicken,
was-
beans,
pork,
Tostones.
tostones,
Tostones.
goodness.
Yeah, I told the guys they needed to refuel because we're smoking so much.
did.
You have to. You have to.
You got to run on full around here.
And another part that the guys might be interested in hearing is I told Pugh, you don't have to smoke through the whole thing.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, because literally, if you start smoking every single burrito, you're gonna be smoking 30 cigars by the end of the day.
Ooh.
If you smoke
Couple
an inch,
puffs.
2 inches, maybe,
Yep.
at the end of the day, you might have smoked 6 cigars, but you're working on them, you know?
Yep.
So that's part of the process too, because you also don't want to over burn your palate
Correct.
in one morning, you know? Because even yesterday when we were having dinner, you guys were like, should we smoke another cigar? And we all said, no.
Nope.
Yeah.
We don't want to smoke because we're going to be smoking enough tomorrow. We're going to
Exactly.
have a fresh palate as best as we can.
Is there anything that you do during a blending session to keep your palate fresh, or are you to the point now where you can?
I take breaks.
Yeah.
Because when we're doing blending, like now we're doing this, you know, we have to push through because we're doing all this for your trip. When we're doing that, we smoke, and depends on how I feel during the day. I might get tired of smoking earlier, might get tired of smoking later. Not tired in the way that, I don't want to do this anymore. It's just my palate is just too much where I'm not getting all those nuances I'm looking for. So I kind of take a break, come back in an
You know
hour.
your limits at this
Yeah.
point.
There's no need to force it. Why? This is a natural product. It's something for people to enjoy. Why force it? Why rush it, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
God, I still can't get over this. Look how gorgeous that is.
Look how it's burning.
It
Look,
doesn't make any
look,
sense.
Look at mine. Look at this.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy, huh? It's crazy.
And I think we were talking earlier. You said
Exactly. We were talking about
good tobacco is going to give you that beautiful white ash.
Exactly. We were literally talking
Yep.
about how the cigars were burning nice, the ash looked nice. It's all about getting premium tobaccos that have been processed correctly. If the tobaccos have been processed correctly and they've been sorted correctly, and we've done what we need to do to get them to the point that we need, the tobacco, I always tell you guys, cigars speak for themselves. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do with it. At the end of the day, the product talks.
Certainly.
So if you have tobaccos that are not up to par with what you're looking for, you're going to feel something in the blends of the cigar.
Definitely.
Even not with the burn, because construction, even if it's not great tobacco, construction can be on point.
Yeah.
But burn comes into play, flavors come into play, aftertaste come into play.
Certainly.
So you're looking for these things. So like I told you guys, I'm not lying that we're getting good tobaccos because you can see it.
You
in
can
the
see it in the
tobacco.
product.
The cigars don't
Getting
lie, man.
amazing tobaccos. Every burrito we light up
Right.
gives you something else. It's refined. It has a very unique flavor. And when you put them in a cigar, you taste that.
Yeah,
and when we
exactly.
do productions with you, they all taste the same. And I'm like, can't ask for really anything other than that.
That's why going back to you guys being part of the process is important to me, because when you have the finished product in your hands, you were part of it, so you know all the nuances.
Right.
And you know, like, oh, I remember this from when we blended that back then, or this is what I remember that we wanted, that we needed. If you're not part of the process, I'm just sending you a cigar. It's good, it's good. I mean, again, I don't knock anything. It works for other people that do it that way. It works for people who do it this way. At the end of the day, everybody has their own style of doing things.
And I think we really like your style.
All right.
So thank you,
Absolutely.
Hostos.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Look,
Guys, I think I hope you all enjoyed a little factory table experience here on the podcast. Shout out to everybody who submitted tobaccos they wanted to see. Jason for dropping a full cigar in there. We
Full
took you up
cigar.
on it,
Yep.
pal. We're gonna get a couple made for you, and we'll send them out. And we'll make this a tradition every time we come to La Isla.
love it.
That'd be
we'll
great.
bring a Cigar Club family members blend with us.
I love it,
We'll make
man.
them some cigars and get it out to them. And we want you guys to feel like you're a part of this process, because for me, I know for Pugh, It almost feels like a out-of-body experience every time we're here. Like,
I know.
Why? How am I even here right now? This seems like it's just it's fun. Like
this is why I love doing what I do, man.
Yeah.
You know I do this every day.
I asked you earlier, Dave. I was like, does this ever get old? Like, does this feeling of joy and just like I said, smiling ear to ear?
It doesn't, man.
Doesn't get old.
I've always said this, and people laugh at me. It's like, how's La Isla going? I say, I'm scared shitless, but I'm having the time of my life here, man. Because every day is fun, man. I'm doing new things. I'm seeing new tobaccos. I'm seeing new people. I'm playing with new things. We get new ideas. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they ain't. But that's part of the process, man.
Certainly.
So I can't complain. I can't complain. Because I've always said I'm a factory guy.
Yep.
I like creating things. I like inventing new ideas. Whatever the case is, the days go by so quick, man, because you're so into what you're doing. All of a sudden you blink and it's 6 in the afternoon. You're like, fuck.
I gotta go.
I want tomorrow to get here so I can keep going with what I'm doing, you know?
I love that. You can feel that. You can feel the energy and the passion. Cigar Club family, thanks for listening as always. Like the video. Drop a comment. Let us know what you would have done. Subscribe. But drop a comment. Let us know what cigar you would have blended with the tobaccos we had on the table today. And maybe next time we'll screenshot it and save it for the next trip here to La Isla. And we're going to keep blending, keep making great cigars, and get Customs 2022 ready for each of you to enjoy all of next year. So until next time, happy smoking.
Happy smoking.
Cheers, everybody.